What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some excellent attachment combinations for every gun in Modern Warfare 3. And in today's episode, we're going to be moving on to the Longbow sniper rifle. And starting it off as always, let's have a look at our damage profile, or more accurately our one-shot kill zones. And we actually have 4 different damage ranges. However, we only really need to focus on one damage drop-off point because within the first 2 damage ranges, it's the same one-shot kill zone. It's going to be anywhere from the upper torso and up, as well as elbow and up on the arms. So unlike the KV inhibitor, shooting them in the forearm or the hand will yield a hit marker. And then anything beyond 23.5 meters, it has to be a headshot if you want a one-shot kill. Even a neck shot won't be a one-shot kill with this gun. So that's the damage range you really need to know, is 23.5 meters. As for our rate of fire, since this is a bolt-action weapon, this means the advanced stats can't be trusted when it comes to rate of fire. Our actual rate of fire experienced in-game is 88 rounds per minute. However, this can be changed with the bolt attachment, and if we use the SAM quick bolt, this will increase our rate of fire up to 99 rounds per minute, whereas with the other bolt, this one reduces our rate of fire down to 71 rounds per minute. Another thing you may notice when it comes to rate of fire is when looking at many of the laser attachments like the OLEV laser, it states in the advanced stats that our rechamber time is significantly harmed while using this. And just to confirm, this actually has no impact whatsoever on your rate of fire that you experience in game, so don't even worry about this. Next, let's have a look at our aim down sight speed, which is pretty fast for a Modern Warfare 3 sniper rifle at 550 milliseconds. This is just 10 milliseconds slower than the KV inhibitor. And our sprint out time is by far the best in the sniper category at just 200 milliseconds for our standard sprint out time and 300 milliseconds for our tactical sprint out time, which if we are aiming down sight, these are not really relevant, since our aim down sight speed will always be slower than our sprint out speed. However, this will apply in situations where you hip fire out of sprint, which with this gun, I would say out of all of the sniper rifles, or at least Modern Warfare 3 sniper rifles, the hipfire is the most viable out of all of them. I still generally recommend staying away from hip firing, but in my experience, you can get away with it a bit more often with the longbow compared to many of the other snipers. Part of that is also due to the fact that you should be playing in much more close quarter situations with this gun compared to the other sniper rifles. Next, let's have a look at our reload add time, which is very fast actually at 1.34 seconds, and that's surprising because you should almost never need to reload this gun anyway when you're using the default magazine, because it's actually got a 30 round mag by default. Then taking a look at our swap speed, this is the fastest out of the Modern Warfare 3 sniper rifles at 1.46 seconds. As for our bullet velocity, this is actually pretty impressive at 770 meters per second, and this is one of those stats where it should never really come into play with the longbow, assuming you're trying to keep yourself in the effective range, which, just a reminder, by default, that's just 23.5 meters. Now, let's get into our mobility stats, which are all pretty good for a sniper rifle across the board, especially our sprint speed. This is a big standout in the sniper category at 5.7 meters per second. This allows you to get around the map quite a bit more effectively than most of the other snipers. On top of that, another area where the longbow excels is flinch resistance. It's actually got the best flinch resistance out of the Modern Warfare 3 snipers at 0.75 newtons. Generally speaking, I would still recommend combining this with marksman gloves though, just to cut down on that, because even though it's the best out of these snipers, the snipers in general still have a fair amount of flinch in this game. After that, let's have a look at our idle sway, which as you can see here, it's pretty standard for a sniper. It will sway around on you a fair amount. Although the nice thing about the longbow is you're generally not taking really long range shots anyway, since you have to hit a headshot at longer ranges. So within the effective range of this gun, that idle sway really shouldn't come into play all that often. And then finally, let's have a look at that default sniper optic comparison. And just like the KV inhibitor, we don't zoom in very far with the default optic on this, which I think is great since this is designed to be more of a close range sniper rifle. And with that, it's time to dive into some excellent attachment combinations I threw together for you guys with the longbow. And the first one I wanted to share is my balanced sniper build. With this one, we're using the Pro 99 long barrel so we can increase that range a little bit. We've got the Schlager Pecbox 4 laser for aim down sight speed, the DR6 hand stop, again for aim down sight speed, the Not Z3 grip, and then finally the SAM quick bolt for the increased rate of fire. And with this, we do get that faster rate of fire at 99 rounds per minute. Our aim down sight speed is slightly better than the base at 520 milliseconds. This is just fine for your regular quick scoping, I would say. Our sprint out time's actually improved a little bit, but that shouldn't come into play too often. Our flinch resistance isn't changed at all. We actually increase our bullet velocity, which doesn't matter a whole lot within the effective ranges. However, a big key here is by using that barrel, we're actually increasing our one-shot kill potential to the body from 23.5 meters up to 31.5 meters. So that is a very nice increase, and you should notice fewer hit markers while using this build compared to the default longbow. So that's the first one. Like I said, it's just a nice all-around balanced build where I improved a bunch of stats without really harming anything meaningful. Next, let's get into my Quickscope build, and honestly, this is probably the build I use the most with the Longbow, and I love pulling it out even on really close quarters maps. With this one, we're using the Corio LAZ44 V3 laser. This one's going to give us the best improvement to our aim down sight speed and also improve our aiming stability a bit, although it is a visible laser beam when aiming down sight, so you don't want to be holding angles too often with this. We also have the VLK4 Optic. Honestly, you could use whatever lower zoom optic you'd like, but part of the reason we're using that is it improves our aim down sight speed. We're also using no stock, the SAM Quick Bolt, and then finally a 10-round magazine, because even a 10-round magazine is great for a sniper rifle, and by using that smaller magazine, we're getting a very significant improvement to our handling and mobility stats. So with this one, again, we have that faster fire rate at 99 rounds per minute. Our aim down sight speed is incredibly fast for a sniper rifle in this game at 414 milliseconds. Our sprint out time is also very, very fast at 152 milliseconds. Our flinch resistance is a bit worse than the base due to that no stock attachment. However, within the really close ranges you should be using this, you're generally not going to get flinched off target, at least not too often. And then it is worth noting, we don't change our bullet velocity or our range values at all with this, so you really want to ensure you're keeping yourself within that 23.5 meters, and if you are beyond that, you really got to line up that headshot. And this build is just excellent if you want to be really aggressively sniping with the Longbow. Again, like I said, you can use this even on the tiny maps and find a whole lot of success as long as you're precise with your shots. You got to make sure you're hitting that upper torso or upper arm. And then finally, I did want to share a long range build, although this isn't designed for like really, really long ranges. Instead, what I designed this for is just increasing that one-shot kill to the body range as much as possible. So with this, we're using the Sonic Suppressor, the Pro 99 Long Barrel, the Schlager Peckbox 4 laser, which is not a visible laser, the KV Factory Stock for improved idle sway, and then finally the high grain ammunition, since that boosts our ranges as well. And with this, we have a very slightly slower aim down sight speed, but still very respectable at 561 milliseconds. Our sprint out time is also slightly harmed, but it's not really going to be that much of an issue for you. Our flinch resistance is the same. Bullet velocity is massively improved, although we'll never take full advantage of that with this setup. And most importantly with this, our one-shot kill potential to the body is now 38 meters. That's a 62% increase over the base, which is massive, although of course you're not going to be able to use this as effectively as the typical sniper rifles beyond that range. So it's still not really designed for like the crazy cross-map shots, although if you want to go for that, you can do it, you just have to hit the headshot. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of using this gun in that manner. I'd much rather just lean into the strengths of it with the previous two builds by playing a lot more aggressively, but I just wanted to make sure I'm covering all the bases and providing options for various playstyles. And with that, that's going to wrap it up today's gun guide on the Longbow. As for my thoughts on this gun, I love it. I really enjoy using it. It's just such a nice change of pace because nothing in the game really performs quite like this. And I've had a ton of fun using it and leveling it up for this gun guide. Now, in saying that, I also understand the frustration of being on the receiving end of this when playing against somebody that's very competent with sniping and quickscoping. Because in those cases, in the right hands, this gun can definitely feel like it's a little bit on the overpowered side. So I'm not sure if any adjustments are in order for this for the future, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And of course, these are just my thoughts on the Longbow, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this gun in those comments down below. Also, if you guys missed any of the previous gun guides, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description of the video. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.